Hey everybody, this is Pastor Matthew Best from St. Stephen Lutheran Church, New Kingstown, PA. You can find us on the web at www.ststephenlc.org. That's STSTEPHENLC.org. And you can find some of my own stuff, blog posts and prayers and other videos and whatnot on my own website, which is www.pastormatthewbest.com. It's time for Tough Topic Tuesday, where I take a tough topic and I talk about it because we should talk about tough topics. And so today, I just got back from an overnight event called Sleep Out in the Park. And Sleep Out in the Park was with just a small handful of folks who, what we did is we went to a park in Carlisle and we slept out in the park. Pretty much self-explanatory. And the whole point of it was to raise awareness around the issue of homelessness. I know I talked about homelessness last week. I wanted to do a follow-up because literally just got back to my own house from the park. We finished after about, I don't remember exactly, 17 hours of broadcasting. And so I'm a little tired and I'm really messy and probably disgusting. Anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up, a little bit of a debrief. You can find information about it if you go on to Facebook, search Sleep Out in the Park. It happened yesterday into today. You can also go onto the Charles Bruce Foundation Facebook page and website. All the videos are going to be posted onto their YouTube video, and I'll be sharing some as well as I get a chance to, after I get a shower and all that kind of good stuff. While we were there, we interviewed a whole bunch of folks with a variety of backgrounds. We had some incredible interviews with people via Zoom for all of the videos. We had service agencies. We had folks who have experienced homelessness in their past, who they shared their experiences. We talked with, I had the opportunity to interview the Bishop of the Lower Susquehanna Synod this morning, which was wonderful. We interviewed other ministries that are doing this work, agencies. We interviewed the founder of the Housing First model, and all these interviews were just incredible and really to raise a lot of awareness, especially in the midst of the pandemic. Some of the things that some of the reflection on it, a couple of themes that came out of the conversations. One has to do with misperceptions and misperceptions that people have about people who are experiencing homelessness. There were themes that came through this entire night that all of the folks that we interviewed talked about the same type of thing. The idea that a misperception that people who are homeless are lazy or they don't work or they should just pull themselves up by the bootstraps or that giving people something is enabling. Those were all addressed. People who are actually working with people who are experiencing homelessness. And I encourage you to go back and watch these videos because they were able to say, look, this is not an accurate perception. A lot of these folks work. A lot of these folks work really hard in trying to get the services that they need, and that we have a huge problem. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is I wanted to, the theme that came out was the brokenness. There's a lot of brokenness, both of individuals, but of the systems that we have to address this or other things by way of donation and all this type of stuff when there are plenty of resources around, and yet there's somehow not a will to actually do the things that are working. And it raises a question, why? Why is that the case? Why is it that we have to struggle in order to get people into a better place in life? Those are questions that as a nation we have not dealt with maybe ever. It's not something new, but there are other places that have figured it out and are doing some incredible things, and we could learn from them. A third observation from the evening was, so we just had a taste, just a small, little, tiny taste of what being homeless is really about. We, of course, everybody who was there last evening into this morning, we all have homes. We all have places to go to. We all have showers available to us. We have transportation available to us. We have homes that have food in them and loved ones, and our lives are pretty good overall. I mean, we all have challenges, right? But these are folks then, the reason why we wanted to do this was to, again, have a little taste that as hot as it was last night, we were outside in it. And guess what? People who are experiencing homelessness are out in that all the time. This is their normal situation. And so what do people do when they're experiencing homelessness? When they're hot, they're sweaty, they stink. They need to find a place to shower, and that's not easily available. Sleeping was a challenge for me. I did not sleep well. I slept in a hammock because that's what I had available, and I slept attached to a pavilion. So I worried all night about rolling out of the hammock and splitting my head open on pavement. So I didn't sleep well. But what about people who are in a situation of homelessness and they have to worry about their safety, whether it's the sleeping condition or the fact that, maybe they'll get mugged or something of that nature. These are real challenges that people have, and they're draining. And then imagine having to do that and then go to work, or imagine having to do that and then try to figure out where your meal is going to come from. Where are you going to get a meal? I mean, these are survival things that you're trying to figure out. And at the end of the day of just figuring out how to survive, you don't have any energy left to figure out what's going to happen tomorrow, because you're going to have to start all over again. The only time that exists is the present time. There is no future when you're in poverty and when you're experiencing homelessness, because all of your energy goes into surviving. So that's just a couple of things that I wanted to share with you, reflections. I'm so glad to have been able to do that. I'm thankful to Pat LaMarche for inviting me to participate in the Sleep Out in the Park. I'm grateful for the folks that we were able to interview. I encourage you to watch those interviews. And I really hope that it does raise awareness for folks that this is a serious problem. It's been going on, that it's not going to go away because we ignore it. It's going to get worse, especially when the evictions moratorium ends on August 21st. There's a lot of concern about what happens with all the evictions that are filed in court that have not been processed. Is there going to be a tsunami of homelessness, and what's going to happen, and who's going to care, and what's going to be done? Or are we going to put our head in the sand and try to ignore it and pretend that it doesn't really affect us, even though it does, and it costs a whole lot, and not just in financial terms, but in energy, spiritual, emotional, you name it. It's not healthy for a society and a culture. So that's our tough topic for today. It's really a different tough topic than normal. But next week we'll get back to our normal, regular Tough Topic Tuesdays. And I welcome your comments, share your thoughts, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.